Welcome to rSlash Am I the Devil, where OP completely destroys his daughter's life. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash Advice. How do I, a 35-year-old guy, get my 14-year-old stepdaughter to talk to me? I've been in my stepdaughter's life for 8 years. I love her dearly. Her dad has been MIA, unfortunately, and is not a good person, so I'm the father figure in her life. She calls me dad and everything. I go to all her dance events and her clarinet stuff. Recently, my wife and I had a daughter. It's my first kid that's mine, and I love her dearly and love being a dad. I want 2 more, lol, but I gotta convince the wifey. I had my friend over for dinner, and they asked how it was having a newborn. I told him it's amazing, that I never realized I could love something so much, that I love her more than anything in the world, even more than my wife, but it's close. I wasn't thinking, but everyone got quiet, and I realize why now. So fast forward a few days later, and my stepdaughter asked me if I loved her. I was taken aback and said, of course. She brought up my comment at dinner and said that it made her feel like I love my biological kid more than her. I told her the truth because I thought that she was mature enough to handle it, but she didn't. I said, I do love my biological child more than you, but I love you deeply. I told her she would understand when she has her own kids, but there's just something about seeing a child that's yours. She just got quiet and said she had to do homework, but I don't think she handled it well. She's been ignoring me and everything. She'll passively talk to me, but I asked her if she wants to get food when I picked her up from practice today, and she said no. It's stuff like that. I just get one-word answers from her. Reading this, I just automatically assumed that when the little girl asked OP, do you love me? That he would backtrack and say, oh, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it this other way. But instead, he's just like, no, not really. I mean, you're swell, don't get me wrong. But I don't love you nearly as much as my own child. I mean, how could I? That was horrific. Our next Reddit post comes from r/slash Am I the Butthole. Am I the butthole for calling out my girlfriend over her cat obsession? I'm not kidding. I'm a 36-year-old guy, and my girlfriend, who's 35, is obsessed with her cat, a 10-year-old boy cat if you're interested. We've been dating for 3 years, living together for 2. Since the pandemic, I've been home a lot more, and I've realized just how cat-crazed my girlfriend really is. They do everything together. She doesn't need an alarm because he wakes her up at 7:30 every day by sitting on her chest and gently nudging her face with his nose. He eats his breakfast while she eats hers. If we're watching TV, he's in her lap. If she's working at her desk, he's in her chair with her or chilling nearby. If he acts even a little weird, like hiding in the closet, which I guess he normally doesn't do, she's on the phone to the vet. She even takes him for walks with a little harness that I used to think was kinda cute, until I realized it just meant her obsession would not be limited to inside the house. Don't get me wrong, I like the cat. He's a chill cat, doesn't mess stuff up around the house, very friendly and clean. But sometimes I'd like to have my girlfriend to myself. I've tried closing the bedroom door at night, but the little Houdini got in somehow, and I woke up to him smiling at me smugly from atop my girlfriend's tits. Anytime I mention toning it down with the cat, she gets all hurt and makes excuses like how she's had him since he was a kitten, and they've been through a lot together. She's even gone as far as to say that he was her lifeline during a period of major depression in her late 20s. Every time I back down and say, okay, I get it, he's family. The final straw came when we were talking about relocating together to another country. She wants to limit our search to countries that don't make pets fly under the plane, ruling out a ton of good countries. I finally stood up to her, told her pets fly under planes all the time, and it's perfectly safe. Told her she was limiting our options for her own anxiety, not the cat's safety. He wouldn't be any safer purring at her feet while she pet him the entire flight. She tried to argue that he's a senior pet, but I didn't back down. I mean, WTF, he's 10? I showed her tons of airline literature about pet-safe flying programs and whatnot. She tried to argue that physical safety isn't the same as psychological safety, and that she thinks it'd be too traumatizing for the cat to go under the plane. Here's where I might be the butthole. I gave her a list of my top countries, all of which require the cat to go under the plane. I told her that I wanted a future with her, but that I thought she needed to get serious help for her obsession with her cat, and to let me know when and if she decided to get that help so we could move forward with our lives. The ball's in her court. I've been staying with a buddy, but it's been about a week and she hasn't called, so I'm starting to wonder if I should have helped her find a therapist before I left. Then OP posted an update. I get it. I'm the butthole. The hugest effing butthole you've ever seen, and possibly some kind of deviant who compares dicks with a cat. 10 years old is a senior cat. It's not perfectly safe for pets to fly under planes, and my girl is not crazy for loving her cat. I called her this morning and apologized. She said she needs time to think. At a kind person's suggestion, I sent her a link to my public shaming, and I'm now going to go hide under the bed in hopes that she notices my strange behavior and still cares enough to call the vet on me. Final update. Jesus, F you guys, she dumped me, okay? Are you happy now? Well, yeah, I'm a little bit happier for the cat and for your ex-girlfriend. And also, I guess I'm also kinda happy that you're more miserable, OP. You sound like a real ray of sunshine. Also, I spent the entire post waiting for a strange, obsessive cat behavior and got the most normal cat owner behavior I've ever read. She, oh my god, wakes up and feeds the cat breakfast? What a psycho. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash True Off My Chest. I put a grenade in my relationship with my wife. I lost everything, and I have nobody to blame but myself. I just needed to get this out. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not justifying anything. I messed up and it's my fault. I just need to get this out there because there's no one I can talk to. My wife and I were having issues. Just the usual issues. The struggle and strain of life, raising a family, etc. We were struggling and nothing was getting better, and I felt like I wasn't good enough. That I never would be. And then I met Carly online. She was much younger than me, so we talked, but then she started flirting with me and it made me feel good. I didn't tell her I was married. I didn't want her to stop flirting. I told myself it wouldn't go anywhere. I was just enjoying the attention, and we were just talking. She lived on the other side of the world where there was no chance of us meeting. And then we cybered. I felt better than I had in ages. Cybering then became video and phone stuff anytime my wife was out. We sent photos and videos every day. The more time I spent with Carly, the more I couldn't stand being with my wife. So I broke up with my wife. I didn't tell my wife about the affair. I gave other excuses, but my wife knew something was up and found out about the affair. It broke her. She didn't eat, didn't sleep. She cried all the time. I justified it by telling myself my wife is a strong woman, she'll get over it. I hate myself for thinking that way, but I did. My wife went to therapy and stopped crying, started eating and sleeping again, started smiling again, stopped begging me not to leave. And I thought, great. See, I was right. I stopped feeling guilty. I felt relieved. My wife and I had to live together for a while until I found a place, but I barely saw her and she barely spoke to me. At first it was great, but then I started to feel off, like I had come home to an empty house, even though it wasn't. At that point, I should have seen sense, should have stopped. Instead, I started to resent my wife. Somehow, in my mind, she was trying to sabotage my happiness. It made me angry. I snapped, made passive-aggressive comments. I hate myself for every word, every nasty text, every accusation. I moved out. Living with my wife had been awkward, but the new place was, I don't know. Even though I'd rarely see her, every room contained her presence even when she wasn't there. But staying in the new place made me feel more alone than I ever had. I had free run to talk to Carly anytime I wanted, to do anything I wanted, but it felt so pointless. The new place felt so effing awful, like a prison. I started to dread going home. I'd stay out for hours, hang around supermarkets, wander the streets, sit on a park bench, anything to go home, even if it meant not talking to Carly. And then one time I passed a perfume shop and smelled my wife's perfume, and I don't know why, but I broke down. In that moment, I didn't want to talk to Carly. I wanted my wife. Carly and I broke up. I thought that I'd miss her, but I didn't. I missed things my wife did. Small things, big things. I didn't miss a single thing Carly did. During handover of our daughter one day, I blurted out that Carly and I broke up. I don't know why. I didn't even mean to. It just came out. My wife nodded and said, "I'm sorry to hear that." And I don't know why, but that stung. She didn't say it spitefully. She was calm and pleasant, like we were just talking about the weather or something. I almost wish she did say it with some spite or glee or something, but she didn't. Anytime I try to talk about us or what happened, my wife shuts the conversation down. She's civil, but she looks at me like I'm a stranger. The other day, I put my hand on her back, just out of habit, and she looked so disgusted. I've never seen her make that face, certainly not at me. I feel so effing broken, and I know it's all my fault. I know I did this. I deserve all this. I sabotaged everything good in my life. For nothing. For a lie. Carly didn't know I was married, and nobody knew that I was even seeing anyone else for months after the separation. What was I doing? I got served divorce papers this morning. I'm not looking for sympathy. I don't deserve it. I know I'm a selfish, stupid prick. I know it's all my fault. I wish I could go back, but I can't. And the worst part is, I don't even know why I did it. Yeah, we had problems, but I can think of 1,000 ways to fix them now. Why didn't I think of them then? I'm sitting here staring at the divorce papers, and I don't know what to do. My first instinct was to fight them, but I can't. I shouldn't. I want to fight it so bad it hurts, but I can't. Not after what I did. I ended up calling in sick, and I've been sitting at the kitchen counter, crying, thinking about everything I did, everything I said, wishing I could take it all back. There's no one I can talk to about this. The person I'd normally talk to is my wife, but I messed that up. Everyone hates me. My friends, my family. It's deserved hate. I deserve all this. I did it to myself, to everyone. I just wanted to get this off my chest because I don't know what else to do or where else to turn. I guess internet strangers are my only option. Funny you say that, OP, because you threw away your marriage for an internet stranger in the first place. Our next Reddit post is from rSlash Am I the Butthole. Am I the butthole for going on a trip right after without my daughter who started college? So I'm a 52-year-old guy, and I just got off the phone with my daughter who's 18, and I think I made her cry. I feel bad, but I also don't understand exactly why. A few months ago, I began planning a surprise trip for my wife's 50th birthday this October. I thought it would have been a perfect time for a little getaway, as we've been raising children together for the past 20 years, and we haven't had much alone time. My oldest, 20-year-old daughter, has been in college for a few years now, and this year, my middle child just left the nest for college too. This leaves my youngest, a 15-year-old boy, at home, and I figured it would be okay to leave him to fend for himself for a bit. The issue started when I decided where we'd be going. My wife has been wanting to visit Portugal for a long time, so I thought that would be the natural choice. But my middle daughter has also expressed a desire to go to Portugal in the past, to the point where her and my wife had discussed taking the trip together. I figured that going on a trip without my daughter would be okay, since this is just a week-long thing between my wife and I. About a week ago, I decided I couldn't keep the trip a secret anymore, so I told my youngest about it. He told me that he would not be comfortable staying at home alone for a week, and after some consideration, I decided that it would be okay if he came along too. I don't want him to be left alone for so long, and I think it might be nice to get him some travel experience. I managed to convince him to keep the trip a secret from his mother, but not from my oldest. I hadn't told my oldest prior because she has a very busy schedule. However, upon learning about the trip, she managed to take the entire week off work, which is practically a miracle. I, of course, said that she could come along too, as this is such a rare opportunity. This, unfortunately, means the only person in the family not coming is my middle daughter, who is the one who really wanted to go to Portugal. So I called her and told her about the trip. I didn't expect her to take it well, but she took it really not well. Once I filled her in on all the details, she got really quiet, and I think she started crying before wordlessly hanging up the call. Afterwards, I was worried she was going to tell her mom about the whole incident, which I cannot have. I really want to surprise her with all this. And so, to remind my daughter that it's a secret, I messaged her, "Good to chat. Again, it's a surprise, so don't mention it to mom. Love you." The trip is happening right before her midterms this week, and she's out of state, so there's really no way she could come along. I just hope she'll come to her senses and calm down, as at this point, there's really nothing I could do. I expected more emotional maturity out of her, I guess. I think she's being a bit of a spoiled brat, honestly. But I also understand that something like this could really ruin our relationship, and that's the last thing I want. What should I do? Well, step 1 would be stop being such a terrible dad. It's kind of weird how he was totally okay keeping it a secret from the daughter and the wife, but he just couldn't keep it a secret from the boy, who said, hey, I want to go too. And Opie's like, yeah, okay. Also, look at this from the wife's perspective. She gets a surprise vacation, and so she shows up to the airport, and oh, it's my lovely husband, and my oldest child, and my youngest child. Wait, where's my middle child? Oh, well, she's the only child I didn't invite, and also when I talked to her, she cried, so forget about her. Let's just have a great vacation. That was rSlash and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.